Oh shit, here we go again.
Low, low, man. Low, low, man.
You like contracts, right? You're a contract guy.
I read contracts instead of conventional pornography, yes.
Slippery little bastard! Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Do you even know what you're saying? Card man? I don't even understand. I'm fucking illiterate. Do I look like I know how to read? No! I don't know how to read.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Legal Mindset. Welcome to the Legal Mindset, where we teach you to be your own judge. Of course, Andrew Esquire, attorney over here in Asia. And we're back with some VTubing news. I know it's been too long. It's been way too long since I've done a dedicated VTubing stream. I do apologize for that. A little bit of the holidays in the mix, a little bit of waiting for some bigger stories, also vetting with some sources. So I just want to say I ain't giving a... I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all, whether you like it or not. And in fact, I'm almost at 200,000 subs. And I have a commitment that I've made at 200,000 subs to get there. So we're almost there, boys and girls. We are almost there. But it's good to see you back, and it's good to be here bright and early. Now, for those that may be tuning in thinking, well, are you going to talk about Johnny Somali, Ramsey, Khalid Schmelta? And no, it's a VTubing stream. It's a dedicated VTubing stream. We're going all in on VTubing today. However, my coverage will continue. I have a lot of stuff cooking up in that department, so don't you guys doubt it. But today we've got a lot to cover in the VTubing sphere, which is once again one of the industries I am committed to staying on top of when it comes to legal developments. But speaking of developments, we have an extraordinarily based gift here. And that said, thank you for that one. We'll drop a pippa on this one.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that from all those VTuber enjoyers. And if you're a VTuber enjoyer, a casual enjoyer, whatever else, smash the like button on this video so I know you like me covering this, staying up to date with all the VTubing news and whatnot. And of course, today our trial docket is we are going to go over major topics, right? Not small stuff that I may go over. I first have the fair trade decision from Japan, which I think is massive, and we need to talk about that right away. That's the bigger overarching thing that honestly, it kind of got crickets, and I was shocked that people haven't picked up on how this is a huge thing and how this will absolutely 100% affect your favorite Japanese corporations, including Niji Sanji and Hololive. Whether they're your favorite heroes or your favorite villains is up to your interpretation. I'll let you be your own judge on that one. So we're going to cover that. I'll talk like a couple seconds on the implosion of Bond Live. Then we've got some tax evasion, VTuber evading taxes. Gonna have to talk about that and how they're going to be extradited for their crimes. And then we're going to get over to the war against hags. So a couple pieces of news there involving some of my favorite hags. As those that may or may not know, I happen to be an enjoyer of the well-aged ladies, and indeed hag VTubers are amongst the finest wine. And then we're going to get into I believe that's the major topics, right? So we'll get into that, and there's some legal stuff that goes on that. And then obviously as an end of this today, I have a nice little clip, which is a fun just a fun minute tribute to Fauna, because obviously as I've been traveling, I wasn't streaming during the graduation of Sarah's Fauna from Hollow Live, and I thought it'd be nice to throw a little fun Fauna clip at the end there as a tip of the hat to Fauna for putting out years of amazing content, putting in good work. And I think I can say this now because the taboo is broken. I look forward to the adventures of the pilot, right, of Fauna in the future, and obviously we'll support good content creators out there as they transition in what they make and where they make it, right? Obviously, I'm a big supporter of people who are out there creating good content and that are skilled and talented in whatever they do. It doesn't have to be law. In fact, I would encourage you not to do law in most cases. But I love good content creators, passionate content creators, and VTubers are no exception. I treat them no differently than any other content creator, unlike Twitch. So we're going to get into it today. And I appreciate everybody being here today. Make sure you smash the like button on the way. We got almost 450 people here in the chat. Also, big shout out to people over there on my legalmindset.locals.com, C3 Metal, JP Ravenfire, Veggie Han, good to see you. And saying legal mindset, pick it up on Nanya. Maybe. Maybe. And also thank you for the base gifts. Shadow 91869 with 10, Fallen Hero with 1, and Muzzy Skeleton coming in here with a giant 20.
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
You, Muzzy, Fallen Hero, and Shadow. Appreciate all you guys and Muzzy here saying early scuff mindset. No, I am not scuffed today. You guys can hear my microphone. In fact, I spent like 10 minutes. I delayed it from 9. I didn't schedule it. I waited to schedule at 9:15 so I could readjust my camera because I think it got moved or something at some point. So it was like the angle of the dangle was not good, so I had to readjust it. But I think we're looking good here. I think the quality's coming in good. It's let me know I need a goddamn haircut, which is the first thing I'm going to get from my favorite barber in Hongdae. If you ever go to Hongdae and you ever need a good haircut, particularly if you like a fade, I recommend Fade Black. They are a great haircut place in Hongdae in Korea, and I will be heading back to Korea tomorrow. I was spending a lot of time back and forth. Obviously, I have an apartment in Gangnam and I have an apartment here in Seoul. Apartment in Gangnam and Seoul, an apartment here in Bangkok. And it's really awesome because I think you get an appreciation for countries, and I'll say this real quick. And same thing for Japan. Whenever you see the differences, and as a person who goes between these countries, often Japan, Korea, and Thailand, I appreciate them for what they have, and I love them for what they are, and they're very, very unique cultures and places. So I just want to say I'm very fortunate to be able to see the beauty and awesomeness of those places. Real quick, Fitty Trucker dropping 20 legal mindset memberships.
Hello, Peso Department.
Thank you for that, Fitty. Appreciate you. Keep on tucking. Fitty Duggar. Shala for 2. Hey, what's going on? Finally covered from my idea. Happy to be here. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see everybody here for this coverage. Appreciate all y'all, and I love all y'all, and great to see some OGs in the chat here today. And Dust Blight saying going to Puerto Rico today to visit family. I love Puerto Rico. By the way, I've been to Puerto Rico about probably 8-9 times on vacations to visit friends, family, just to have fun, sit at a resort, go see the bioluminescent bay, do some scuba diving, snorkeling. Great stuff. Billy Aoki say, "Oh, my favorite gay lawyer. Your sources are bad, but good to see you. All right. So let's get started today. You know what? Let's start with little Pippa. To get us in the right mood. We gotta get, before we go anywhere, we gotta do some Pippa. Let's see. Is this here? Here's a good quote from the Abbot. This will kind of get us in the right mood today for what we're going to cover. Let's play this.
I'm not a huge fan of racism. Can somebody clip that? I'm not a huge fan of racism. Wait, let me say it more seriously. I am not a huge fan of racism. Okay, please clip that. Please use that one.
Pippa officially a racist. We all knew it. You hate to see it. You hate to see Pippa admitting that she's not a fan, but just a little bit. Not a big fan. She's a little fan of racism. So Pippa outing herself finally as the racist she is. For all the world to know. Insert her canceling Pippa immediately after that. She's just a casual fan of racism, not a big one. Not a big one. At best, she's a casual. Thank you, Graham. I see that in the chat. Very base rabbit. It's a moderate level of interest in racism. All right. Funny stuff from the Yabbit. All right. So let's get started today with the Japanese Fair Trade Commission. Now, this is something that I was sent immediately, and a lot of people said you really need to look at this, but this was something that was actually sent to me by my friend in Japan, who sent me and also sent some messages from a Japanese lawyer that they were contacting like in relation to this and the applicability to VTuber agencies. And then a couple other folks emailed me this, and I actually found this as well, some other articles independently. So I want to kind of go through this and what it means, what it is, because I think this is a bigger thing than really a lot of people are giving it credit for. So we're going to turn to the Tokyo Reporter here, which reported this on December 29th. Let me pop myself in the corner here. And this says the Fair Trade Commission says talent agencies could be violating the Anti-Monopoly Act. Now, the issue here is, okay, you're thinking talent agencies. Well, does this say explicitly HoloLive and Ichisanji? Well, no, it doesn't, right? But regulatory bodies don't come out and single out companies unless they're actually, issuing a fine or a penalty. When they're issuing guidance, they issue it to a broader industry sector. And regardless of whether or not you perceive them that way, under the rubric, and this is something, once again, I heard from a Japanese lawyer, under the rubric of the Japanese regulatory body, Nijisanji, HoloLive, and all other Japan-based VTubing agencies are absolutely talent agencies. Let me say that one more time. As confirmed by a Japanese lawyer, these VTubing companies, because I'm not a Japanese lawyer, but I talk to lawyers. I love talking to lawyers. I love talking to other lawyers. As confirmed by a Japanese lawyer who happens to be in-house counsel, like I was in America, they're in-house counsel for a company in Japan. And they mentioned this is absolutely applicable to VTubing agencies, right? And even beyond that, right? Somebody mentioned this to the entertainment industry as a whole, right? So these regulations aren't just going to come for, ones for J-pop idols only. No, this is going to come in a broader sector, and this is a good thing. And listen to me, guys, and anybody who knows me for a long time, I'm not a big fan of government regulation. I really am not. I think the less we get, the better. But this is one area that has been such a wild west. It's been so crazy in terms of what's happened that even I, who it goes against a lot of my principles, says, yeah, a little bit of regulation is needed. Not a lot, a little bit of guidance here, because the way these companies are operating is extraordinarily unethical, particularly in relation to treating people as employees, as they're essentially slaves. I mean, they say jump, the company says jump, and they say how high, and they've got to do it, but they're not getting any of the benefits or other protections that would accrue to employees. It's absolutely a problem. Baked Buddhist, what's up, Sir 5? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's get a little VTubing.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So let's continue with this. So there was a survey conducted by the Fair Trade Commission on the relationship between entertainers and talent agencies, and revealed the industry could be rife with practices that violate the Anti-Monopoly Act. So the results of the survey were released on the 26th. In interviews with entertainers, some said they were hindered when it comes to transferring to other agencies or going independent. Does this sound familiar to you? Does this sound familiar to you? Absolutely. This is a massive problem in the VTuber industry, where they try to prevent you from leaving or going indie, and they try to punish you. Right here, some entertainers reported their agency has been threatened regarding transferring to other agencies or going independent, saying they will no longer be able to perform in the industry. And they pressured broadcasting stations not to feature them. They've been forced to change their stage name after leaving. Also, here's a big one: verbal contracts. right? Talent agencies should not make statements or take actions that lead entertainers to hesitate to transfer, become independent. So what they're saying is, they're saying, hey, you're making all these requirements, you're issuing all these requirements. By the way, I love Based Asia. You know how look, sorry guys. Based Asia ad over here. I wish America could have ads like that. That'd be great. It's a very good sexy Christmas week. Very Based Asia. All right. I love being in Asia. It's so awesome. All right. Relationships between broadcasting stations and talent agencies. Obviously, this you might think wouldn't apply, but guess where this could apply? This could apply with the relationship between YouTube or Twitch or the other platforms, right? So if they are saying, if you quit HoloLive or Nijisanji, we will make sure to salt you and make sure YouTube or Twitch or whatever doesn't partner you or whatever, try to interfere in those relationships. Yeah, they get in trouble for that. That's a good thing. And we don't know what they are or are not verbally threatening people with. We have no clue because we've heard some things, but is it possible? Absolutely. Is it something that happens in industries? Absolutely. Where they will say, hey, we're going to blacklist you. We're going to get you so you can't work in this industry at all whatsoever. That's an absolutely credible threat. And it's a good thing to stop those sorts of threats. And then here we go. Agencies have overwhelming power. That is listed as one of the major problems here. We didn't sign any contracts. It was just a vague verbal agreement. It wasn't disclosed until my performance fee was transferred. I wish they'd specify the working hours and the amount of compensation. What does this sound like? The contracts we've read, where there are no working hours, the compensation is vague, or in many contracts, it says, when you look into the contract, it says TBD, or the amount of the fee will be negotiated elsewhere. And then it's just a verbal discussion that they have. Oh yeah, we'll pay you 1%. We'll pay you 2%. The Niji 1%, right? Where are these things? Once again, these things have to be in writing. They have to be contractual. They have to be clear, and they should be, because when you go into a relationship as an employer-employee, you should know everything that's expected of you. And that's not unreasonable. And I know that people can get away with trying to say, oh, it's Japanese companies and Japanese culture. It's still unacceptable. Even in Japan, you should have those sort of relationships established. And you can decide whether you want to agree or disagree with those conditions when you enter into that contract. So that was one big one from the Tokyo Reporter. And there was another one I wanted to go through here, which also gets into it with the Asahi Shimbun. Over here, this is also another one reporting on this, which is agencies control entertainers with vague contracts and threats, says the Japanese FTC. So bullying, this is bullying, vague contracts, threats to livelihood, and pressures on competitors are used to keep entertainers in line under their control. This sounds exactly like the VTubing agency, exactly like VTubing agencies, to be honest. And this action, and they pointed out here, although contracts that are very aggressive are not necessarily illegal, ambiguous contracts could put entertainers at a disadvantage, leading to abuse of superior bargaining power, which is prohibited under antitrust. And this is what I've been pushing for in terms of awareness and in terms of getting this message out there, that regulatory bodies, particularly in Japan, are going to look at this and say, yeah, we can't have this happening because people are being taken advantage of. Contracts should be clear and in written form. And here's another one. A quarter of talent agencies hold the right to unilaterally extend a contract, even if the entertainer wants to leave. This is one we've seen in the most abusive of contracts, where essentially the corporations, the VTuber agencies, are free to terminate you at any time, but you can only leave at a very specific time, and really only if they give you permission, because you've got to do X, Y, Z before you leave. For example, you've got to join the graduation queue, and you've got to ask permission or they won't let you leave. These are things that really demonstrate a mismatch in bargaining power, where they've got this massive bargaining power and they are bludgeoning these people, right? These individuals, these human beings, right? Because yes, the VTubers, right? But there's a human being pilot there that's being taken advantage of. And that leads to performers abandoning their plans for independence or moving to another company. And so this is one thing that I think is going to come to them. And once again, speaking with a Japanese attorney, they said that this absolutely 100% applies to VTubing agencies. So this is not something that they're going to get out of. This is not something that they're going to shy away from. And in fact, I think the good thing about this publication on the internet, right? Us talking about VTubing topics. And by the way, you know, these getting picked up by big channels. I mean, Asmongold talks about this. A lot of other big channels talk about VTubing issues and VTubing contracts. This is actually making them more aware. So I actually do contribute it, not just to myself, but to everybody, the community of people that have been covering this and getting the word out about these abusive relationships. I think we're winning. And I think we're actually getting the word out to change this culture as a whole. So it's not time to give up. It's time to continue to be loud about it. It's continue to speak out about it. And no matter what the Niji sisters do, and trust me, guys, I was laughing all day to the bank when they put out another Google Doc trying to cancel everybody, you know, and report them to the principal, and the Niji sisters' impotent, limp, pathetic attempts to come at everybody that they perceive as a quote unquote drama tuber or as a commentary channel. Well, those commentary and quote unquote drama tubers tend to cover real issues that are materially impacting, significantly impacting the people behind them. So I don't give a fuck, and I will take the demonetization for that. I don't give a good goddamn how much you simp for Niji or how much you are Riku's bitch, right? These people are being taken advantage of. And to the extent that they are, they deserve to have remedies to that. And if the remedy is just to leave the company and have the freedom to leave, that's at least okay. At bare minimum, people should feel free to leave their VTubing agency without fearing retribution, punishment, without fearing a $500,000 fee that they've got to pay for everything they've been given by the corporation or whatever else. That's something that they should not have to fear. And I don't care who that pisses off, right? I really don't. So that's a good thing. I'm very, very happy about this. And I know that the NDF is going to be big mad about this one. But this is coming for Niji. This is coming for the people. And by the way, the HoloLive isn't exempted from this. This is something that would apply equally with equal veracity, with equal strength to HoloLive and every other corporation. So, you know, if you're doing the right thing, if you're treating your talent right, you have nothing to fear with this. This is not something that a good corporation is going to have to worry about from a regulatory sense. This is really targeted at predatory agencies, predatory establishments, predatory companies, and I absolutely could support that. And once again, this is a part where people like to paint me into a picture of, oh, Andrew is all this or all that, or Andrew's anti-government. No, not necessarily. If there's a common sense piece of regulation that can actually help, I fully support that. Now, if it's needless regulation that does nothing but burden people, particularly burden the individuals that are creating the content, I would have a problem with that, right? But this isn't. This is burdening. This is getting rid of a predatory practice. So that's why I am very happy about that. Let's get to some of these comments, and then we'll move on. We'll talk a little bit about some more of the stuff. Good to see everybody here. We've got almost 876, which is awesome. Jam John says, diving. I'm diving tomorrow. I've been pumped. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. I have to, I probably have to, because I have an issue with equalization. I got Patty certified a while ago. I probably have to renew it because it's been more than a year since I've been diving. I was snorkeling a bit, but I have a problem with equalization. I think I might have to get a surgery or something to clear up my eustachian tubes or something so it clears better. But I love diving. I mean, it's an amazing. So have fun with that. Be safe. Make sure you're diving with somebody, and just practice safe practices diving, and it's great. It's a great hobby. Red Eye says, wait, I'm in a stream and no scuff. I know, and it was early too. It's a 2025 miracle. Meredith also, good morning from Mustafar, Los Angeles. You guys are on fire. Please be safe if you're in California. I saw the pictures of the fires. They're crazy. Please be safe. I mean, look, you live a dangerous life just living in LA, living in Southern California, and fires on top of that make it even more of a hellscape. But please be safe. Happy to catch a stream before I have to go brave the freeway to get to work. Please take my humble scuff dono. Thank you, Meredith. Kyria for 15 Malaysian ringgit says, I think there's more on those companies like Johnny, especially Johnny. VTuber is nothing compared to them. Yeah, I mean, look, trust me, I'm going to get back to Johnny soon, but we got a lot of VTubing stuff to get through. Ouch, that hurts. Does anyone see Dr. Nova, the racist groomer clip? I have not. Send it to me and I'll play it on another stream. Hayden Power says, hey, Andrew, Happy New Year, Andrew. Does this apply to overseas affairs? It would only apply if they started a company or were operating significantly in Japan physically. So the Japanese regulatory bodies are really not going to apply to FaZe. FaZe would be under Canadian regulatory bodies. From what I understand, they're incorporated in Canada. So they would fall under Canadian bodies, which, you know, now that Trudeau is gone, who knows what's going to happen up there in the crazy white north, our 51st state, if you will. Fair Frozen 55 says, how do I miss Puerto Rico extradition? What is this about? I'm from Puerto Rico. Cheers. Love your anime recommendations. Oh, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to Puerto Rican extradition in just 1 second. Just hang on. We're getting there. This is a long one. This is a long stream here. Long stream. Goofball Gorgon. Utsuhiya says, does this mean indie to corpo hires could possibly keep their indie IP? Now, that's a different story. This does not handle IP. However, what this might mean is that they cannot stop them from publicly saying, I was this person, which I know this goes against VTuber norms. And I know some people are going to get big mad about this. However, I think that a former person who was working in a corpo should be able to say, I worked in that corporation, because that is like their CV. It's like their resume. Banning somebody from displaying their resume, if they want to, once again, if the individual wants to talk about their past, they should be able to talk about their past, and they should not face legal action because they say, I worked for this corporation as this role for X. If they want to, it's their choice as an individual if they want to make that decision or not. If they want to hide it, they want to keep it private, that's their business. But if they want to come out and say it, I don't think they should be legally prevented from doing that. Right. So, yeah. Mama Akko says, someone recently told me I'd never be in a corporate because my drama coverage. I don't know. I'd rather be free than have this. Well, I look, obviously, if you are an indie and you go to a corporation, just like anything else, they're going to look at what you covered. And if you've been covering things from a certain point of view, which Akko, I know you have, there's certain corporations that won't take you on. They'll say, look, we can't get advertisers for you because you've been too spicy. And that's true. That's factual. And look, this is a legal mindset. We tell you the real, right? And you're going to have to live with that. But what you trade is freedom. So do you want freedom, or do you want to have to live by restrictions, including advertising restrictions, which can sometimes be insane? If you're okay with that, with advertising restrictions, then you can do that. Then you're well suited for a corpo. If you cannot, if those offend you, then you need to be an indie for life, or join a very, very loose, very, very minor corporation in terms of what they do and interact with. So they let you do your own advertising, etc. They just maybe help you with branding or some support, right? You need to have a different sort of corporation, a corporation that doesn't micromanage you, that lets you function effectively as an indie. But yeah, not a big one. Legal Minds is my favorite drama tuber. I know. Thank you. Number one drama tuber. Randy Matsunaga says Riku's yacht going deeper than the Ocean Gate sub. Oh. No. Wait. Niji sisters are going to be like, that's not a picture of the yacht. That's a 1943 destroyer that was sunk out there. Fake news. Niji sisters are big mad right now. Big mad. I'm not going anywhere, Niji sisters. Surprise, motherfuckers. All right. Lenmar for €5 says, hey, Andrew, was wondering if you plan to make another stream about the pop lawyer soon. Seems a lot's been going on in his life. Yeah, so I am planning an update on our favorite Rickety Crackets. I want to try to do it as a collab with at least one other individual. So I'm speaking to some others who might do a little collab with me on that. But that'll be a separate stream. That'll be a separate stream. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I got a lot on that one. Separate topic, though, for a separate day. Okay, so the next thing I had here, there was a little bit of an implosion here. Speaking of corpos and whatnot, the Bond Live Agency. So apparently they're just melting down. So they announced here, this was a couple days ago, I believe, January 5th, 3 days ago. Says, we deeply apologize for recent events that have caused distress to our viewers and supporters. It's with sadness we announced the graduation of pretty much everybody. Suzu Kinobe, Citrai Faust, Princess Lollipop, Kaika, Kazuru Yu, Kota, Amano Ogawa, Anna Muriel Faye, and Maimu Akimi. So all of them are graduating. We wish them success, and we thank everybody. We regret to announce the internal information from Bond Life EN has been leaked externally. This includes personal information. Oof, not good. Also, they want to say that some of the disclosed information is inaccurate. We respectfully request that all parties stop spreading misinformation about our company. Any further pertinent announcements we made through official website and or X. So from what I understand of this, it seems like they're shutting down their YouTube side. It seems like what they're doing is, and this is from what the best I can understand, and I could be wrong, but it seems like what they're doing is they're saying end of YouTube, and they're trying to move everybody to the VTuber only kind of mobile platform. I think mostly the Ethereum platform over here, which you can see over here. There's some streamers here, and it's kind of a VTubing centric app, which is a good idea. And I think it's a good idea to have an app. But my understanding and my comment to anybody that would say our whole agency is going to exclusively stream on this niche app, I think that's a horrible idea. And the fact that most of you in the chat are saying you've never heard of it, like, in fact, let me do a little poll here in the chat and just get like, have you guys heard of this platform at all? Like, just a real quick note, have you heard of Ethereum? Like, just if you've even heard of it before the stream, not today, not right now, but like before the stream, had you heard of it? I just want to know, because to me, I think I heard about it just insofar as I was talking to folks about VTuber focused platforms and kind of VTuber platforms that could get them out of the fist of YouTube or of Twitch, which each have their own problems. YouTube being automated bullshit that gets you demonetized, that gets you punished for essentially nothing, what its AI feels like punishing you for at the moment, and it takes a year in a Twitter campaign to get a real human being to look at it because they're cheap. And Twitter, which just actively discriminates against YouTubers, which is no surprise. We've been talking about this on the channel for the last year almost, how Twitter actively discriminates against VTubers, particularly when they're more successful than their 2D counterparts, or whether they're fleshy counterparts. I think that the right way to go in general, if you're looking at this, is to continue to stream on big platforms. So YouTube, Twitch, etc., whatever the big platform is you want to stream on, and then offer exclusive content, do something different on that app, and then draw people over to that. And if an individual streamer hits the point at which they're making a bunch of money on Ethereum, they have a bunch of viewers, it's really lucrative, then maybe do more on that platform, but don't retreat off of the main platforms. You're literally killing yourself in terms of exposure. Your exposure is much greater on YouTube than it is anywhere else, or Twitch than it is on some niche platform. And that's one of the reasons why even people who do Rumble, etc., still try to keep their YouTube around, because in terms of draw, in terms of reach, you really can't beat it. You're really not going to beat it or get those same numbers as you would on a small platform, where you might get tens of people versus hundreds or thousands of people. So that's kind of just a 2 cents on that. That can apply more broadly across industries and across content creators, but it's really an all your eggs in one basket that hasn't even proven itself, that hasn't even shown whether it's going to be something that could stand on its own 2 feet. Whether or not it's the #1 streaming app, VTuber streaming app in Japan. I love that flex here. It's so, look at this flex here. This is funny, right? So right here, they say #1 VTubers. let me blow this up a little bit. Number one VTuber streaming app in Japan, right? And I love this. It's actually probably even not the most download. The footnote is Irium was winner of Japan's best live streaming app award at the Sensor Tower APC Awards 2012. So they're basing it on one award they got in 2012, which doesn't even tell you that it's the biggest or whatever else. It might be the only, right? It might be the only VTuber exclusive one. I'm not aware of whether it is or not. But that said, it's kind of a weird flex, bro. Weird flex. So I think this is a very bad move. And obviously, if that's the reason why Bond is doing it, I think that's a giant L. Goofball says, is the yacht in the Mariana Trench yet? Soon, my friend. Mama Akko for 6 months says, internal information was leaked by UTT. Mizu as it eats. Okay, maybe I'll hit her up for that. Thank you. Kettlefire, Charmer Hita for 10 says, depending on what happens with that talent manager at Bond Live, will said talent manager be able to file a lawsuit against the horrid working conditions that led him to possibly make an attempt? If they can, the problem with suicide, God, I said it. Okay, I didn't say the full word. The problem with self-deletion attempts, trust me, guys, I do not like the YouTube censorship. The fact that we have to talk around this is bullshit. And by the way, another content creator said this the other day, and I want to echo this. We should be able to have a frank conversation about this because the rates of self-deletion in developed countries have gotten insane. In fact, Japan, which used to far surpass the West, the US now has a higher deletion rate than Japan. Think about that for a second. It's a serious problem, and people need to be able to talk about this in a serious way that's not abusive or whatever else, but just talk about this in a real talk sort of way and how we fix this issue. But that said, if you can attribute the behavior to the attempt, so you have to be able to set what's called a causal chain. It's got to be the proximate cause. But if that's the case, then it's possible. Whether or not that's feasible, whether or not that economically is viable, whether that will actually help the person is a question mark, right? Because if you're going into, once again, an international lawsuit, that's going to be difficult. However, if they're in the same company as same country as Bond Live, then maybe it's possible. Might be possible, right? Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, it's a crazy fact. People in the chat are not believing it. It's true. You can look it up. It's true. Somebody asked, why is Facebook turning away from fact checkers and censorship? That's probably part of it. I think the political changes have a lot to do with that, because they know that their censorship and fact checkers were not being fair, and that's pretty much confirmed at that point. But that's a whole separate topic. Good comment though. Lenmar says, I don't watch videos or streams on my phone. I like my big screen TV. I love my studio in Bangkok because I have my giant monitor here and I have my screen. I've been looking for a portable monitor, but everywhere I've gone to look for one hasn't had one. I think I've got to order one online and get it shipped in. So it might be a minute before I've got that for travel again. My last one I had a portable monitor that I had for years, but I spilled soju on it. So that happened. I spilled soju and it was like instant
Emotional damage.
It was such a hurt to lose that second screen, the second travel screen. It fit right in my backpack. It was just a nice, like this, about this size, but it was perfect for travel. I know. RIP portable monitor. I know. Okay, let's talk about tax evasion. So we've got this clip here from our girl, the banana. Let's talk about this. Let's watch this. We're gonna watch this clip and I'm gonna comment on it. We'll comment as we go. Actually, we'll let it play a little bit. I'll comment as we go. Fair use. Don't strike me, bro.
Not swear words on my Christian stream. Okay, we're gonna talk about the tax evasion.
By the way, for the record, she was completely narked out by this. She was completely narked. People narked to me immediately on this. The feds have been notified. The glowy mindset has been notified. Okay, so we're on you. We're on you, tax evading VTuber.
Allegations. Listen.
Base tax denier. Now, mind you, Puerto Rico is a territory. We're going to get into that territory.
I did commit tax evasion.
Okay, never do this. Never do this. Never. Never say this word. This word does not leave your mouth. Legal advice here. Do not use the word I committed tax evasion. The IRS will be inside of you before you know it. Oh, no, never do that.
It wasn't on purpose.
No. Here's the thing: if you're committing tax evasion, it does kind of have to be on purpose, right? Now, you make a mistake, whatever. I mean, this is a little bit different, right? And tax, by the way, tax minimization, not illegal. Minimizing your taxes through whatever tax strategy you may have, not illegal. Tax evasion, quite illegal.
It was not on purpose. Listen, basically, this is what happened. Before I forget, I
So this is what happened, bro.
wanted to be a good Samaritan. I don't know the word of that meaning. I just know it sounds fancy. I wanted to be a good noodle. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna go to turbotax.gov and I'm gonna file my taxes like a normal, regular person. But then I filed my taxes and then I submitted that shit and I needed it all the way. But then it turns out, then I got a letter, like in Blue's Clues, where they're like, you got a letter. It is from IRS. No,
If the IRS writes you a letter, it's not good. Spoiler alert: don't get letters from the IRS. It's never good. The letter from the IRS is never good.
it wasn't from the IRS. It was from TurboTax. And they were like, your taxes were filed. Actually, your taxes were denied. Actually, and so they denied my filing for whatever reason. And so I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, bitch! I tried to do my taxes and
It is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to properly file your taxes. If you can't do it, hire a professional. TurboTax, it's all right. If you've just got that W-4, you're just a regular employee, you got one source of income, right? But at a certain point, you got to pay somebody, right? And I pay good money on my taxes every single year, good American dollars on my taxes every year to have a professional do them. You do have to upgrade. And if you're a VTuber and you're making over, I'm just going to say this right now, if you're making over $40,000 or $50,000 a year, which I think a lot of VTubers are, making over 40K a year in total aggregate revenue, you need to hire somebody, right? I mean, you're making like 10 or 20,000, you can probably get away with doing it yourself, but you're making like 40, 50, you can, a couple $100 for taxes to protect you is well worth the money. It's well worth the money, especially American taxes. American taxes are complicated.
you didn't let me.
By the way, I see you guys in the chat. I want to say this real quick. I see you guys in the chat. I'm not a fan of the U.S. tax system. I just want to say this real quick. I think we should be able to just, they already know how much you owe. They already know all these numbers beforehand. I think they should just give you a number and be like, this is what you pay. Okay, you're done. They already know all these things. We don't need to have it complicated. In fact, even better, just let's go to like a flat tax, or let's go to a VAT system, a value-added tax system that doesn't involve all this bullshit, doesn't involve all these tax companies taking a bunch of you, doesn't need all these tax professionals. Let's just go to a simple system that's just done, one and done. Get rid of the income tax. Let's go back to it. We didn't have the income tax for hundreds of years of our history as a country. We don't need the income tax. Other countries don't need the income tax. It's a stupid thing. I'm against it. But that said, follow the law, right? I have to tell you as a lawyer, follow the law. Nobody likes taxes, especially American income tax.
And no, I'm not doing it because I did it and you didn't take it. No, I don't even have money to pay for the stupid taxes.
This is exactly what happens when you don't pay your taxes. So as soon as you don't pay your taxes and like you're hit with it, the bill is going to be like several months of your income. So it's going to be like, you're going to pay 3 months of your income. And of course, some people are very good savers. The average American does not have 3 months total revenue saved up to pay for taxes. So if you got hit with 33% or whatever other tax percentile, 28%, 33%, the average person like wouldn't just have that offhand sitting around if it was accrued, right? So yeah, that's why you need to be very careful about this.
Took too long, and I used that money to survive and DoorDash and live and eat food. And so
That food budget's going to be cut real quick.
now I can't pay the stupid taxes even if I wanted to. So then I'm not doing anything. I'm not filing shit. I'm not filing stupid taxes. So now we do tax evasion. Now we do it. Please do not tell legal mindset.
Too fucking late, Nanya. I got you. I got your number. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. That's it. It's over. Straight to jail. First of all, I'm striking you for use to my image. You did not pay the royalties. You did not pay the mindset tax. You did not pay the mindset tax. Hold on, real quick. Well, I have to play this one because it's just relevant.
I don't care. No one asked, bro. No one asked.
Good combo clip here. Okay, let's.
Do not tell the VTuber lawyer. This is between you and me, bros.
That's a secret. That's a secret. It's between you, me, and the thousands of people watching this video.
It's between us. No snitches. No fans in my chat.
Too late. Pippa found it, and since Pippa found it, it's straight to the feds.
I will kill you if you snitch on me.
Okay, now we have threats. Now we have threats. We have threats to our life. We have threats to our life. Okay, convicted for the murder of chat. Convicted for the murder of chat. So that was a fun one on tax evasion. Obviously, streamers have to pay taxes. Now, someone brought up the point. This is a very good point about Puerto Rico, and I'm gonna teach you a little law here because it'll only be fun and games until we get into the law. Someone responded to that thread, and they said, "Well, she can get away with it because she's in Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico doesn't have an extradition treaty." And I'm like, hold on. So when somebody said Puerto Rico doesn't have an extradition treaty, my instant thought was this.
All right, explain this to me like I'm retarded.
That won't be that hard.
Puerto Rico is a territory. We don't need an extradition treaty. We got something called Article 4 of the Constitution. And under very, very clear case law, under this case, Puerto Rico versus Branstad, a 1987 case, which raised this issue regarding Ronald Calder and Puerto Rico. They absolutely do, under the extradition clause of the Constitution and the Extradition Act, have the authority to quote unquote extradite people from Puerto Rico. And mind you, the word extradite is not just international. Extradite applies between the states. So for example, within the states, Florida has a duty to extradite a criminal to another state if they make a proper request, if they make an appropriate request. Now, a lot of this has been questioned with recent political prosecutions and et cetera in the US regarding what is an appropriate, et cetera. Like, are there grounds in which you could object to the extradition of an individual state to state? But that said, considering it's a valid request and tax evasion certainly would be, you could absolutely be extradited. Now, they wouldn't even need to do that because it's in the United States. This is a territory, right? So federal law would apply to all the US, to all the continental US, the territories, et cetera. So they wouldn't even really need to quote unquote extradite our lovely VTuber here. But they absolutely could reach in there and get you in Puerto Rico. So you being a Puerto Rican resident or citizen, whatever, still applies. You are in the United States as a territorial province, right? Good to see everybody here too, by the way. Japanese Demon Lord Abari Lucifer for 6 months says, what happened to VTuber Andrew? No, my ping avatar, I still have it, but the technology I was using to do it, the method I was using to do it, what stopped working properly. So I need to get another method to use that. But really, when I do full VTubing, when I go all in, when we hit 200K and I start on that journey, we will just do it all in instead of just going with kind of a jank half-ass solution. I'll have to fully set up OBS, get all that hooked up, but that will happen. Invader Talks, once you go multi-monitor, you never go back. You know it, brother. Tatsumi for 5 says the implement of the IRS usually comes less lubed than the implement of consequences. Even the Joker is scared of the IRS. Exactly. And if the Joker's scared, it ain't no joke. Flooring over for 10 says, here's my tax money. Thank you for that. Absolutely appreciate that. And appreciate everybody here who's donating to the chat, especially the yellows. It's a nice golden surprise. Ownage for 189 says, doesn't TurboTax have professionals? You have to pay more for that. So when you go to TurboTax and you like select which package you have, you can pay for the one where you have like a real human that helps you or whatever, but that's the upgraded package. It's more efficient and it's better, to be honest, the quality you're going to get. And I know many folks that are accountants, tax professionals. You're better off just going to an individual and going to find them rather than finding the TurboTax dude. Right. And also the TurboTax dude or lady isn't going to give a shit as much as somebody who is an individual or separated out from that corporation. So find somebody, particularly somebody locally where you live, if you're in the United States, or somebody who's familiar with your type of situation. So for me, as an expat, someone who lives outside the United States, I hire companies that specialize in expat taxes, that know expat taxes well, because they need to know what exemptions to apply, what ways to deduct things to get my costs and my tax burden as low as possible. So I would not hire somebody who isn't familiar with expat taxes because they just wouldn't be as good at those deductions. So yeah. Family friends, I mentioned family friends. Family friends are great. Awesome. Rodrigo says, they're like, you owe me taxes. Me, how much? IRS, doesn't matter. You owe me. Me, okay, just tell me how much. IRS, no. Yeah, exactly. And they already know, because, they've already got those materials that have been submitted by the corporations or companies you're working for, receiving payments from. In my case, like Google, right? They know all the money I get from Google. I can't hide that money from them. Google's already reported it to the federal government. So they already know what that is. So there's no really hiding it from the IRS. Not to mention, even internationally, you have treaties that relate to financial reporting, right? So they know what's going in and out of bank accounts owned by Americans. They well know. Shalon says, when I make money, tax are my first thought. Exactly. JP for 5 says, I may mod you for you both, but I swear I didn't switch. She's going to make you pick. She's going to be like, JP, it's the lawyer. It's me. That's it. Boss says, Happy New Year. And here's the first monthly mindset tax. Thank you for paying the mindset tax. Thank you. Mac for 10 says, by the time you're done paying for all the bullshit, you have an abnormal income just to get an actual expert. They will cut less time, money, and stress. Exactly. If you have an abnormal income, get an actual expert that knows about that. So if you're an entertainer, get somebody that does entertainment. If you're in construction, if you're, running a laundromat, whatever, get somebody that specializes in that. Kabukai Kimono. So for €5 says, I'm happy to say I haven't filed my tax with the IRS for 39 years. Here's my back tax. Can you go pay it for me? No, I will not be your tax agent. But you're paying in euros. So I assume you don't have to owe the IRS anything because you're probably in the Eurozone. Fair for 55s for 2 says, FBI takes criminals to Puerto Rico to the US on a daily basis. Exactly. Japanese Demon Board Obari Lucifer says, the U.S. can't simplify the tax system, Andrew. If they got rid of the paid tax services, they wouldn't be able to tax you for doing your taxes. Exactly. They have such a strong special interest lobby that every time it's been brought up to the U.S. federal government, the special interest lobby for the H&R blocks, the turbo taxes, they have fought back against it. And actually, all of those quote-unquote free filing services you see are a compromise that was made years ago when they were trying to get rid of it and reform it. They said, please, we'll be good boys. We'll give free services to the poors. Here's what they didn't say. They just give free federal services. So if you have a state income tax, now if you're in certain states like Florida, you don't have a state income tax. But if you're unfortunate and you're in one of these restrictive, we'll call them that instead of communist, states like California, then you've got to pay a state tax, which often is not covered by the free software they provide. Or they'll say, oh no, you have this extra thing you need to claim, and therefore you need to pay. So they at every point try to get you to upgrade and get off the free program. So it is an entirely manipulative method that they got out of reforming the tax code. And I think it needs to go, to be honest. Rolando Feliciano said, good to see you back in the thick of VTubers. Off top, do you hear anything about the 10-cent blacklisting? Vaguely, but I don't know enough to talk about it in an intelligent manner. And as you well know, I don't like off-the-cuff stuff. Sparky's Text Corner 999 says, I always claim zero on taxes, always stay in the black, been going to the same accountant for 20 years, not one issue. And that's fine, because you might owe zero in taxes, particularly if you run a business. You might have enough business deductions, etc., other things that you might just owe zero, right? It's very possible. As an expat, many expats owe zero because they make under $120,000 a year. And if you make under $20,000 a year, expat deduction, right? You're living outside the country, you might have zero tax burden. Might. Once again, this is not tax advice, and consult with your local accountant, right? But it's very possible you could file. Now, here's the thing. You have to file. Even if you owe zero, you file, you put a zero on it, and that's it. But you have to file the taxes. People make a mistake, and they differentiate between owing zero and filing. You need to file. You don't necessarily need to pay if your burden is zero. Andrew Hardman says, is that laundromat that needs a tax lawyer? Yeah, the laundromat, I'm talking like Ozark Breaking Bad laundromat. You go to a specialist, right? You go to a specialist. If you're running those sorts of businesses, that's why they have the accountants. Linux Guy for 5 says, accountant can deal with resolving mistakes the government makes for a YouTube. Very worth it. Honestly, it's the best money I ever paid. I am so happy to not have to sit for 2 to 3 days and go through all my documents, all my taxes. Having someone else deal with that, and having the peace of mind that if I get audited, their ass is on the line as well. I'm going to have some payments I'm going to have to make, but they're going to have to help me with this. That is very reassuring. And peace of mind is worth something. It is actually worth something when it comes to the IRS screwing you over. All right. Well, I think we've got that topic. On to the next one. By the way, guys, I am in a dearth of VTuber. I haven't had some VTuber memes sent to me in a while. I've got some stuff for the end of the show here, but if you've got any clips, any short stuff like that, you can still send those over to my email, andrewesquirelive@gmail.com, or you can tag me on X and send them over to me. Real quick, Ginblade says, taxes for me is kind of like a small extra savings account. I always get a few hundred in tax returns every year. Oh, cool. Awesome. Your tax system is more messed up than German. The U.S. tax system is the most oppressive tax system that's out there in terms of its reach, because it's global. It's not just territorial. So it's not limited to people that are in that country. If you're an American, anywhere you are, you got to report to Uncle Sam. It's kind of crazy. People in the chat confusing dearth and girth. Where is it? I'll use fauna.
Disgusting.
As you need to learn how to read. All right, let's continue here as I abuse my chat. Let's see. We've got the next piece of business, which is very interesting. I don't know why this is, and maybe chat, you can help me on this. Why did one of my favorite hag streamers, Kason got banned from Twitch? What went down? Chat, I saw this, and I don't know what went down, but they got my girl. And how are you going to do my girl like that? How are you going to do my girl like that? I have no idea why. I don't know whether it was because there was there was some making out. Maybe there's some TNA. She showed an ankle. Someone says here she played a phallic. She was playing a genital game. Okay, well maybe that got her right. Got a free case on. Free the genitals. I think it's fine. She played a penis platformer game. Well, okay, all right. I still think she should be freed. Listen, if a hag wants to play with the PP, come on. On Twitch, it's kind of the most mild content out there. And then we got some more stuff, speaking of hags. But before that, let me get this one super chat. Fair Frozen 55 says for 5. Hey, Andrew, unrelated to VTubers, but tax related. You saw that Gerard the completionist tax issues with the charity. That's a big issue. I saw a little bit about it. The issue with charities is usually misallocations of expenses that really aren't charitable expenses. And that's a huge one. And to be honest, a lot of people, when they are wealthy, tend to do very, I don't want to say shady, interesting things with charities. So they'll form a charity as a way to funnel money in, get a deduction, but maintain control. And there is a legal way to do that. You just need to have a really good accountant and keep good books. But if you're sloppy, if you don't have good books, then you're going to get fucked on that. So you need to, if you're that wealthy that you have a charity and that you control and are dealing with charitable expenses and donations, etc., you need to have a very good accountant, not just a mediocre accountant. So that's a big one. Charity fraud gets a lot of folks, especially if it's fake. That's even worse. But if it's real, you can still get in trouble. And it says, hey, Andrew, would you cover the IRES song? IP used in comparison between JP and EA laws and process. How about you, Hayden, send me that article or send me some information on it and I will look into it for sure. Absolutely. Just send me some information on it. All right. So here we go with Adora. So this is very interesting. So I saw this issue with Adora Fortuna. So I am, as you guys may or may not know, kind of a fan of hag VTubers, and they're kind of a thing for me. Everybody's got their own taste, but for me, it's the hags. Now, I really did genuinely enjoy this little meme here. To me, it was just once again, this is the very common meme. So Dora over here going, hey, what are these? I found them in your cabinet, and getting in on the restarting a dying star kind of hag meme here, the fertility age, fertility sport, ova boost, fertile egg, conception for her, fertile health, fertile lady. This is a long going meme, which I think is hilarious. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's not a problem at all. It doesn't really create any issues. And the one issue which I saw on this, which is a regulatory issue, is clearly ridiculous. But this to me is a very, very hilarious meme. And then I went out here after, watching this and seeing this kind of hilarious meme, and then seeing that there was pushback on this. And I saw this comment here, hey, everyone, I'd like to formally apologize for my tweets. At the time of postings, my intentions were to join in on a popular meme and trend that was popular a few months ago, but I had unknowingly hurt some people. And for that, I am very sorry. Intentions do not reflect the outcome. I'm so sorry for hurting anyone that came across it. I'll be conscientious to do better from now on. Following this, I'll be canceling my stream and give some time to reflect on my actions. For posting a meme? Like, to be honest, this is absolutely harmless, and in no means is it illegal, and no means does it violate any sort of regulatory schemes. We're going to talk about the one that people jumped out there, because Vols is a Singaporean corporation. So the corporation here, obviously, let me just show you guys real quick, so you guys know that I'm doing the homework here. So Vols over here, the corporation that Adora belongs to, is a Singaporean corporation. They're located at with Crazia PTE Ltd here. Let me zoom in for all my Singaporeans. Maybe you know this. We got a lot of base Singaporeans out there in the chat. They're located at 420 North Bridge Road, 0433, North Bridge Center, Singapore, 188727. CEO is Yosuke Arai, and they were established 2023. And they have 200,000 Singapore dollars as capital. That's actually okay, but it's not an amazing amount. Business areas: VTuber production, digital marketing, AI business. So very interesting that they would try to make her take it down. Now, of course, she came out subsequently and made this statement, and I want to be clear for all transparency. She said, hey, everyone, I wanted to take a moment to speak about the situation. My hope is we can move forward together. I would like everyone to avoid sending any negativity towards Vols or anyone involved. To clear things up, I wasn't forced to do anything. The Vols team shared their advice and gave me the space. So here's where, and she goes back in saying the decision was my own. Okay. When a corporation gives you advice, right? We all know what that is. I've worked at corporate. We know what advice is. There's voluntold, right? I voluntold you to do this, right? You don't have to, but we're strongly recommending you do. And next time things come around where it might be something like talking about revenue share, talking about contract negotiations, etc., we know what that is. And trying to bullshit at this point that it's anything but that influence, right? Even if the decision ultimately is your own, is ridiculous. And this is exactly the sort of thing that I think needs to be carefully monitored. Once again, it's silencing somebody for something that's harmful to nobody. Saying it hurt who? Who is this hurting? What person complained? I couldn't find one person that'd be offended by this. Even the funniest thing is, even my favorite, my beloved hag VTubers, they love this, right? Nobody finds this offensive. No person is coming out there except for the most salty of Niji sisters, the ones that have been in the Fujo mines for decades. But other than those, those crazy Fujo cat ladies, we've got essentially no one that would even think about complaining about this. And it's something that, frankly, if anybody did, it's a meme, right? It's a meme. It's a clear meme. It's an established meme. It's a meme that's been out there for not even a couple months, almost a year now. I've seen that meme since I've come into the VTubing space almost a year ago. I've seen that meme. And I think it's hilarious. I love it. I have it saved on my phone. Not hers, but somebody else with the same meme. I think it's great. I think it's hilarious. There's nothing wrong here. And the last thing you should ever do from your branding standpoint is apologize. And, I know that she and Vols have come back and issued an official statement saying we didn't do it right. It's not our fault, which they gave here. Let me pull this up real quick. This is one of these, corpo official statements. But every time they do these statements, it always comes off as the lady doth protest too much, as them fighting back against these accusations, against these comments too hard, right? They wouldn't do all this if it wasn't something they pushed back on, right? And they do say here, currently, our content guidelines for talents are not as clear as they could be. We need to recognize the need for better defined standards and are working to revise to ensure our creators feel supported and confident moving forward. What that means is they're going to crack down harder. They're going to issue stronger warnings. They're going to let them say less. That's what that means. That's what this statement means. And whenever you see a corporation that's going in that direction, it's frankly the wrong direction. It's very sad that creators get noticed for this. I hadn't heard of this creator before this moment. And it's sad that the first time I noticed them or hear about them is not through a funny clip or anything else. It's through this. And let me show you something else. So some people have said that this meme, and let me pull up the meme one more time because it needs to be shown in order for everybody to understand. So here's the meme, and it does have some products in it. Right. So obviously you've got products in it. Now the products are kind of faded out. It's kind of hard to see the products themselves and the branding, etc. There's some that might be more easily identified, but a lot of them, it's kind of hard to identify the exact brand or where it might be, etc. But some people were saying this could violate a Singaporean government regulation because there is a government regulation related to by the HSA in Singapore related to the advertisement or promotion of medical products. I don't think that this in any way could be at all conceived as something falling under this. So this actually is a regulation in Singapore which requires advertisers to ensure compliance with legislation and guidelines for advertising materials, products, and traditional medicines. So anytime you publish anything related to buying any sort of medicine, so oils, medical products, quasi-medical, homeopathic, traditional, Chinese proprietary, you need to get a permit for that if you're conducting sales promotion activities. She's not doing any of that. A meme is not, there's no way that you could go under her meme and buy the product from her or Vols. So because they are not selling the product, there's no way for you to go out there and buy that product. She has no affiliate link with them. She has nothing else that's promoting those specific products. It's just a meme. I don't think there's any way to say this is regulated, like a meme is regulated under medicinal advertising restrictions. I think that's preposterous. That's stretching. That would be way out of field for a regulatory body to come down on that. I mean, shit, they have trouble. Let's be real. Regulatory bodies have trouble following and restricting even serious violations of regulations. So it often takes a extreme violation of a regulation for there to be the government crackdown. I don't think the government is searching for memes. This isn't England, right? When we're talking about policing in England, this is this is dealing with Singaporean medical advertising restrictions. I don't think they're coming down on that there. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Really wild overreaction on the case of Vols. Tansimi says, have you ever heard of the IRS dating game? Okay, I'm going to Google this. I have not heard of the IRS dating sim. It's a dating sim. Tax Heaven 3000. It's a Japanese. Wait, what the fuck is this? No way. Are you kidding me? Hold on. We got to pull this up for a second. Hold on. Okay. The dating sim, love and taxes forever. Okay. Well, listen, if she's doing my tax, if she's filing, I think I'm buying. I think I'm clicking get the game. This is why Japanese art, and they got a dakimakura. They got a body pillow, a tax body pillow. Do your federal taxes while romancing your waifu. Covers 1040 U.S. individual tax return. Checks eligibility for earned income credit, American Opportunity Credit, suitable for singles without dependents, features multiple endings. Oh, man. We got to do this, guys. We got to do this live. Characters Turbo, an unsavory sass bro, quick to anger and oddly fixated on Iris. He seems to be up to no good. Likes corporate lobbying, confusing forms, dark UX, fleece vests. I love it. Oh, it's just the only character? We only got one dude in there? Oh, man. This is good. This is content. Guys. It's prime content. See, after this, suddenly the VTuber community is an expert on taxes after we play the tax dating sim. Bro. That guy, who said that looks like Legal Mindset? This guy does not look... Okay, maybe it's close. Maybe it's kind of close. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay, we're gonna play this. I'm gonna play this for 2022 filing year. We're behind. There's an X-rated. Oh no, we can't play the X-rated patch. Okay, I am gonna open that link, but off here. Iris learns a lesson. Oh boy. Okay. All right. All right. Well, anyways, moving on from Tax Heaven 3000. God, you guys know. Listen, this is how I know my chat, and I love you guys. But you know what? You're undoubtedly
Degenerates. You guys degenerates.
Okay. All right. That's what I have for today. That's my main topics, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this, really, and that you enjoyed my VTuber coverage. If you enjoyed my VTuber coverage, drop a V in the chat, because I just want to know that you guys are still interested in me covering topics. With VTubing topics, it has been relatively quote unquote slow in the topics I want to cover. I am going to try to focus on stuff that has a legal facet to it, or has a corporate governance facet to it, something like that. So when there's the basic run of the mill, he said, she said, won't be on top of that. As much as stuff that has a legal element to the VTubing industry. But if you've got stuff that does have a legal edge to it, make sure you send it over to me, get it to my attention, because I will absolutely get an eye on it as we go into 2025 and beyond. And I want to thank you guys all for being here as well. A lot of V's in the chat. Awesome. Love to see it. 2 V's is a W. Love it. W is for win. Speaking of W's, it's a little bit of an L to lose them, but we always should remember people when they move on from their funny moments. So I found this really good Fauna's Hateful Riz has everyone laughing. So I thought with the graduation of Sarah's Fauna, it would be absolutely appropriate to watch this clip with you guys and kind of enjoy it. So here we have, and let me make sure the audio is working on this. Perfectly fine. Yes, should have audio. Awesome. Let's watch Fauna in her hateful riz as a kind of tribute to the fun memory of Fauna.
Okay, this is your boxy. You have to end every sentence with babe or honey or something. Like sweetheart or my love. Okay, baby.
So, Fauna, how's your day today?
Better with you around, sweetheart. That one's straight from Skyrim, honey.
She's so pained. She's so pained. I'm gonna say.
Fauna, did you like spending time together with me?
No.
Forgot to say sweetheart.
I did not like you, my love.
Oh,
I hated it, my darling.
oh my
It was a living nightmare.
She's a tsundere. She's a tsundere. Fauna, how do you feel about me?
I hate you, sweetie. Oh my gosh, this could either be like
This is the best boxy ever.
It could either be like a partner or a child. When you say that, what is
Oh my god.
That was a good one. That was a good one. All right. Shout out to Fauna. Appreciate her. She will be missed. And thank you guys all for joining here today. And with that, we'll leave with what the Niji sisters are doing, seeing me covering VTuber events again.
You are coping and seething. You just can't